Hi, and welcome to my channel. Or if you're a returning subscriber, hi again. It's so nice to see you back here for another video. My name is Tess Lark, and this is an art and beauty channel. So if those are videos you're interested in, make sure you're subscribed because I'm here for you every single week. And this week, I'm going to be showing you how to make these really cute pressed fern earrings. I'll also be showing you how to make some pressed fern necklaces and also using resins with different pigments to make some two-toned earrings. Don't worry, I think I can still keep this video under 10 minutes. I hope that you enjoy this video. I will try not to ramble on too much, but I would like to say thank you to all of you who show up every week and watch my videos. It really does mean the world to me. I love that we're building this little community of creators where I'm hoping that we can learn from each other and have some sort of dialogue down below in the comments, some questions and answers. Feel free to put in your input, always in a polite way. Please be nice to each other. If anyone is curious about trying this project for themselves, I will have all the materials that I use for this project linked down below in my description. And if you would like another in-depth video of pressing flowers or mixing resin, I'll make sure to link a couple videos down below. This video is really going to be about technique and not like all the nitty-gritty details, but if you do like videos where I really just lay everything out in a beginner-friendly format, let me know. But I just thought I would save you guys some time and get to it. So let's hop into this video. I cannot wait to craft. So to save time in this video, I went ahead and I pre-mixed about 10 milliliters of resin, and I just have it here. It's been sitting, I've already hit it with my heat gun. And so I'm gonna go ahead and separate that out because I want to use two different colors. And the colors that I'm gonna be using are gonna be black and also a white. So I'm starting out by taking both my mica powder and my alcohol ink and adding that to some of that resin and mixing it thoroughly until that's really well combined. Next up, adding my white alcohol ink and my white pigment powder into my resin and mixing that as well. And the reason that I'm using mica powder is because I like the pearlescent shine that it gives each finished product. So after I have my pigments thoroughly mixed, I'm going to start filling my molds. And I'm not going to fill these up all the way because I'm going to go ahead and add a fern and another layer of resin on top. So to make sure that this just gets into all those little corners, I'm using my heat gun to heat up that resin, make it a little bit more liquidy and a little bit easier to push throughout the entire mold. I'm also pinching my cup pretty hard to make a little point, so while I'm pouring the resin in each mold, I've got a little bit more control over how much resin goes into each little mold. And then for my two-toned earrings, I'm going to start by laying a little white down at the top and then following that up with a little bit of the black and using my heat gun to spread that around with each other. And I sort of fell in love with how the two-toned ones look, so I played around a little bit with adding some white to my black diamonds, although they didn't really turn out how I was anticipating, but it was still a fun experiment. And after this, I went ahead and I let these pieces set up completely before moving on to the next step. So you can see that white that I added looks a little wispy, definitely not as dramatic as the other ones. But I have my ferns here and I've just used a microfleur to press them out and dry them completely. And I'll be using a little bit of E6000 glue, putting a little dab of that down, and then I'll be using that glue to secure the ferns down into each little resin mold that I have. And I've decided not to put ferns in the two-tone ones because I think that they look pretty cool as they are, but the other ones I will be adding ferns to. And I'm also adding glue to the underside of the ferns. You'll see one side of the fern has a bit of like a spine and the other one lays flat. and I'm just adding my glue on to the spine of each little fern. And after I place them in the mold, if there's a couple little leaves poking out, I'll just use some pliers, cuticle scissors, or my fingers just to make sure that the fern is completely inside of the mold. And then just taking another 10 milliliters or so of resin to give these guys a nice juicy top coat. And that's going to protect and preserve those ferns and also give a nice glossy finish to each piece. And again, when I'm using my resin to top coat these pieces, I'm not filling them all the way up because I will be using my heat gun to warm up that resin and push it around and make sure that I can fill each mold without overfilling them and having some spill over the sides. And you really just want to take your time, work slowly. Again, the resin is pretty viscous, so it takes a while for it to spread out and kind of end up where it's going to be. So just work slowly. All of this footage is sped up, so please keep that in mind when you're working with resin. Just be patient and take each piece as it comes. And then after I have all of my pieces top coated and I've used my heat gun to make sure that the resin is completely spread out throughout each piece, and I've also popped any air bubbles, I'll go ahead and cover them up and let them cure for another 24 hours or so before moving on to the finishing stage and adding the hardware. And after that top coat is completely cured, I'm just going to go ahead and pop each one of these little guys out of their molds. And one of the things that I do like about these molds is they do have a little hole in each piece already, so I won't have to drill any of these pieces. But if you are curious about drilling resin, I do have some videos here where I show you step by step how to drill through your finished pieces, and I'll make sure that I link some of those down below as well. So now that I've got all of my finished pieces, I'm just going to go ahead and add them to the hardware. So to make the earrings, I'm going to take a large jump ring and I'll open that up with my pliers. And then I'll put that first jump ring right through the hole that's at the top of the earring piece. I'll then use my pliers to go ahead and close that jump ring, make sure it's really tight, and then also make sure it's laying down flat. And next I'll take a slightly smaller jump ring and open that using my pliers as well. And to this I'm going to go ahead and attach my earring hook. And then once I have the earring hook on there, before I close that jump ring, I'll attach that to the pendant. And again, using my pliers to close that, make sure it's tight and make sure it's laying down nice and flat. And there we have our first earring. So I'm just going to go ahead and repeat the process with all of the other earrings. And I decided to make these 2-inch chokers, so the process is a little different. I started by putting them on little jump rings the same way as the earrings, and then I'll be adding a second jump ring to that and closing that, making sure that it's nice and flat, and then I'll be taking about 14 inches of chain and just threading that through that top jump ring, laying it down flat so I can see the ends, and then on one end I'll use a jump ring to attach a large jump ring. I usually put this on the left hand side, and again just closing that with my pliers. And then on the other side, typically the right hand side, I will take a small jump ring and attach that to a lobster claw. And then I will use that small jump ring to attach my lobster claw onto the chain. Make sure it's nice and closed. Usually I'll go in with a pair of needle nose pliers to really get into there. And then that's just going to make it so we can connect each end and make this into a nice little necklace. Alright, so our earrings and our necklaces are all finished up. And I'll have these listed on my Etsy, which is fragile.beings.com. Let me know which ones are your favorite in the comments. And I think they turned out so cute. Please let me know down below in the comments what you guys think of this project and if you're planning on trying it for yourselves. Well, I really hope that you enjoyed this video today, and I hope that it inspires you to make something of your own. Thank you so much for being here, especially if you made it all the way to the end of the video. And if you did make it to the end of the video, leave me some sort of plant or flower emoji down in the comments below so that I know that it's real. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!